Hi there, Joe Tremaine here, Master Talent Teachers video series. And, oh wow, I had the pleasure of recently sitting down with Terry Lindholm, a veteran Hollywood agent who grew up dancing with me. Obviously, I represent dance. He grew up dancing with me, but now has had an amazing career, and he's here to share his insight and advice on seeking a career in Hollywood. Let's do it.
I ask dancers when they come in to meet with me, what type of dancer do you perceive yourself to be? And the answer sometimes is surprising. I think the most common mistake is that people will forget that they're in a new environment. And
new talent, new dancers, new artists coming to LA. What's the best piece of advice you can give them? When they come here, they think they're all that. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. How do you help them, or how can they best identify their strengths and weaknesses, and how can they correct it or fix it?
Well, it's a very, very good question. It's a complicated one, but I think the most important part of it is to be realistic and to say to yourself, I feel like, and I ask dancers when they come in to meet with me, what type of dancer do you perceive yourself to be? And the answer sometimes is surprising because they haven't yet experienced the marketplace here, so they don't know how to fit into it yet. So, and we as agents may not put you into a little box, but Hollywood kind of does. They kind of say, if you're a jazz dancer or a hip-hop dancer, but it's also about looking realistically in the mirror and saying, these are where my strengths are. If you want to expand that movement vocabulary, it's about identifying how you can do that within who you are. For me, and I explain this to the dancers that come in, is what I had to do is I had to look at the fact that I probably wasn't going to go on tour with a hip-hop artist. That just wasn't the type of dancer that I was. So I had to figure out how to translate that type of vocabulary into who I was as a performer. And it kind of, I take it like this and I bump open that door a little bit, to include some of that flavor, but I was still this dancer that could add that to it. So, and that was what worked for me. Those types of jobs were the things that came to me. For dancers that come into the office, we try and identify choreographers that their movement style fits on them. So I'll ask the dancers what type of dancer you are, what type of choreographer you think fits best on you. And then if there are other things that they're interested in doing, we try and identify ways for them to expand it, whether it's taking certain classes or meeting certain choreographers. We just try and identify ways to open that up. But I think the number one thing is being realistic about who and what you are so that you know where you have to expand.
Yes. Is there, what is the most common mistake you see when a client you have as a young dancer, they come in and they sign with you? What is the mistake, the general obvious mistakes that they're making, and you're like, oh my God?
I think the most common mistake is that people will forget that they're in a new environment, and they will keep operating under the fact that they may have been the best at home. And sometimes that confidence will help you in the audition process, but what tends to happen after that is you get beat down a little bit, and then you have to rebuild up that confidence. So, that can be really, really harmful because the audition process is all mental. Your skill set by that point is pretty solid, and we know you can dance, otherwise you wouldn't have gotten signed.
Right.
So at that point, it becomes all about the mental game that the audition is, because it's not the same as working the job. It's all about confidence, portraying the character that you want to portray, and knowing that your skills that you've trained your body to do are going to kick in. Because you won't be worrying about what dance steps you're doing. You're going to be worried about looking a fool. So, you have to be able, it's just like dealing with nerves when you get onto the performance stage.
Yes.
And that's the mistake that I see people make a lot, is they forget that challenge is going to be there.
Crazy business we're in. And you kind of hit on that too. I always say, one of my quotes, over-prepare, and then go with the flow. Preparation's the key to success. And what is the secret to success? Hard work.
Absolutely.
Hard work. But over-prepare and go with the flow. Because you're prepared, you go into that audition and you go into that rehearsal, you're prepared, you've done your homework, you're ready to go, then you can concentrate and zero in on what needs to be done in that rehearsal.
And then they can throw anything at you and you'll be fine, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to visit the Master Talent Teachers website regularly for more new and exciting videos.